Hi everyone! So today we are going to be doing a little bit of a chit chat video. I'm going to be making my response to the people who have noticed and have commented on my recent weight gain, and also for the people who usually points out my breakouts. And don't worry, this video is not gonna be like a hate video or anything, but I would just want to share what's in my mind and what's in my heart right now regarding this topic, because probably it might help some of you, because sometimes when people point out your weight, if you have past eating disorders, it triggers you. If you have been watching me for a very long time, actually I made a video on how I lost 20 pounds, because before I was 120 pounds and I lost 20 pounds, which I made a video on that. After I lost 20 pounds, I really tried so hard to gain the 10 pounds back, and I was very successful at that. I did gain 10 pounds, so now I am 110 pounds, which I think is very healthy for my height, because I'm 5'2". Actually, for me, I don't think that I am fat at all, but I think for some people the 110 pounds for a 5'2" girl is already heavy, or you know, some people may categorize me in here in the Philippines as like chubby, or they would categorize me as fat, just because I'm not very skinny versus when I was 100 pounds. So I actually had some people comment on my weight, that they told me that I gained weight and I am fat again, and pointing out certain points of my body, especially my arms. Someone pointed out that my face is fat because I gained the 10 pounds, which is, for me, I have no problems at all. But when people point out your weight, especially in specific parts of your body, it kind of makes you insecure. Personally, for me, if someone told me this when I had an eating disorder way back before, my first instance when I hear all of these comments is I would immediately skip meals. I would work out like a crazy person again. I would practically starve myself. I would go on a fasting, and also I would usually count my calories and being paranoid with food. But this time, thank the Lord that, you know, I can say that I'm completely healed. My mind is finally being renewed and being healed by that eating disorder mindset before. Although sometimes I feel like I'm being triggered to do all those things, but there's just this click in my mind that I'm like, you know what? No. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna let the opinions of other people move me, because I feel like I'm a little puppet sometimes. When some people say like, oh, you gained weight, all of a sudden my response would be like, what? I gained weight? I should lose weight because that person thought I gained weight, and gaining weight for me, the whole word of gaining weight is bad, so therefore I should lose weight, right? But I was like, you know what? This time I'm determined not to listen to all those things or let it even affect me, because right now I really do like my weight. Not in a narcissistic way of just like, oh my god, I like myself. And it's not like that, but it's like I felt like my weight is actually good for me, being 110 pounds versus me on 100 pounds, because when I was on 100 pounds kind of weight, I didn't really feel healthy at all. I know maybe for some people they like me in my 100-pound self, but I didn't really like myself when I was 100 pounds. I didn't feel comfortable with my body, but I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, this is my body and I get to decide how I should weigh, and I don't really put my worth and my identity just on my weight. This is not first world problems. This is not gonna affect anybody's lives. But seriously, do you guys get what I mean? Because I feel like the people who have experienced an eating disorder can relate to this. Before, I would magnify this and this would just consume my life. If someone told me that I gained weight, that kind of like thought would just have a replay on my mind, and I would feel so bad about myself. It would ruin my day, even weeks, till I lost the weight, and then I feel like I would be happy again. I feel like things would go back to normal again, because my mood was based on how I look like or on how I weighed like. That was a pattern of my life before, and that is a terrible place to be in. When I lived my life like that before, I felt like I was in bondage with the opinion of people. As I've said, I felt like a little puppet, that when someone tells me to do this, I immediately act upon it, because, you know, I feel like it just all stemmed to like pleasing people as well, so which is not really a good thing. And I really thank God for renewing my mind, especially in that area. And number two is my response when people point out my breakouts. Because last time I actually had a pimple right here. It's gone now, but you know, there's this one guy, he's just like, what's that on your forehead? You know, and he gave me this like disgusting look on his face, and I'm like, that's a pimple. I'm on my period right now, so like that thing popped out and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah. And also there's another guy, and he's just like, what happened to your face? Because at that time I was breaking out so bad on my forehead and right here, just because I was very stressed out. So you know, when you're stressed, pimples come out and stuff like that. And when he saw that I was so chill about it, and my response was not like, oh my gosh, you know, I have like pimples on my face, help me Jesus. Wait, it wasn't really that. He just calmed down and absolutely ignored everything. I feel like sometimes when people point out your imperfections, and then when they see that you're responding in such a way to where you're freaking out too, and when you're just like disgusted with yourself, I feel like sometimes it makes them feel more sorry for you, or it makes the whole situation critical when it's not absolutely critical. I don't know if this is a normal typical response to some people. When you have a pimple, they just have this urge to kind of like point it out and like ask you what's that, even if they already know that that's a pimple. And yes, I can admit sometimes that, you know, when people point out your imperfections, especially your breakouts, it does make you insecure. You know, it kind of makes you conscious about yourself. And that's exactly why, I don't know if you guys have noticed, on my first Dove hair commercial test, I actually had 3 like large pimples right here. It's gone now, but in that video I was hesitating to upload that video just because I really thought that one of you is going to mention my pimple, and I was so ready in the comments to reply to someone back in the comments explaining why I had those 3 pimples. Because when I saw that video, I was like very disturbed, you know, within myself, because you know, in here, when people see that I have a pimple, people usually point it out, but you guys are so nice for actually not mentioning it at all. When my first initial response to that, when I was editing the video and I saw that I have like pimple, like those 3 pimple right there, I was hesitating to upload that video because, you know, I was like, oh no, people are probably gonna be disturbed and, you know, they're gonna say something. But I'm very thankful that not one of you actually commented on my pimple at all. You were just so focused on the video that you guys did notice, or probably you did notice my pimple, but you guys are just so kind to not just mention it at all. During that time, I was so conscious to even make a video, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep on making video because, you know, the whole breakout thing, it happens to almost everybody. Not unless, of course, if your face is very perfect and you just don't experience breakout, then like great for you. But I'm like, you know what, I'm a normal human being. Sometimes my face breaks out. I came to a point in my life, especially after experiencing acne, I was like, I'm not gonna let my breakouts ruin my day or stop me from doing the things that I love just because of this temporary thing on my face right now. So at the moment, I'm going to be happy. I'm not gonna let the pimples or acne prevent me from doing the things that I really love to do. Yes, people might point it out or anything, but I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. The more I know who I am in the Lord, the more I learn to just really accept myself for all of my flaws, because I know that I'm loved by God, and I know that my worth, it does not depend on my hair, on my skin, on my weight, or how I look like, and not on the earthly things, or not on the things that you just see physically. And I noticed that sometimes the opinion of people, or the definition of beauty in this world system, changes from time to time. Because if you have perfect skin, you're beautiful, right? And when you get acne, it's like, oh, all of a sudden you're not beautiful anymore. Or if you're skinny, then like, yay, it's being praised, like, wow, goals. And when you gain weight, it's like, oh wow, you're no longer goals, you gain weight, blah 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 blah. You know, all of those things, you get all of those comments, and people do really care and judge you by your physical appearance. I've noticed that so much from a lot of people, and that is a sad truth. I know maybe not everyone judges anybody in their appearance, but the majority of the people, they really judge you with your appearance, especially in this day and age, to where I feel like you have to look a certain way because there is a set of standards of beauty and of what you should look like, or what your body should look like these days. And if you don't meet those qualifications of beauty, of this world standards of beauty, it kind of feels like you're ugly or you're not worth it. Personally for me, coming from an eating disorder mindset before, I really had to renew my mind with the word of God. You know what? In those days where my face breaks out, I'm not gonna let that affect me or ruin my day just because of that. There are a lot of important things in life that we have to do and we have to accomplish, like living out your purpose, rather than being so focused on your physical appearance and on your weight. So yep, that is it for now. I hope you guys like this video, and I'm sorry for rambling too much. But I just want to vent it out to you all, and I hope that this has somewhat helped you in such a way. You know, if you're on the same page, let me know in the comments down below, because I actually love to hear what you guys have to say. If someone told you you gained weight, or if someone pointed out your imperfections, what is your first initial response to it? So definitely let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!